Most people who call themselves millionaires today are not actually millionaires in the way that truly matters for your daily life. As we move through the middle of 2026, a strange phenomenon has taken over the American economy. You might look at a real estate website and see that your home is worth more than it has ever been. On paper, your net worth looks impressive, perhaps even reaching that coveted seven-figure mark. But if you are like many Americans in their 60s, you might find yourself asking a very uncomfortable question. Why does it still feel so difficult to pay the bills if I am technically a millionaire? The truth is that most of the wealth in this country is currently locked behind layers of brick and mortar. It is hidden in the equity of houses that have skyrocketed in value over the last decade, but it is nowhere to be found in your checking account. In 2026, the distinction between being net worth rich and being financially independent has never been more critical. According to the latest data from the Federal Reserve, roughly 9% of adults in the United States now qualify as millionaires. That sounds like a victory for the middle class. But when you look closer, the celebration ends abruptly. When you subtract the value of the primary residence, the number of people who actually have $1 million in investable assets drops to just about 1.8%. That means for every 100 people you see, only 2 of them have $1 million they can actually use to buy groceries, pay for healthcare, or travel the world. The rest are what financial experts call house rich and cash poor. They are living in a mansion of equity while surviving on a budget of scarcity. This is the paper wealth trap. And if you are not careful, it can turn your golden years into a period of quiet desperation. Think about the way we talk about success in America. We have been conditioned to believe that your home is your greatest asset. For decades, the plan was simple. Buy a house, pay it off, and you will be set for life. But in 2026, the rules have changed because the costs of owning that asset have reached record highs. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, and maintenance costs have all climbed alongside those rising home values. You might own a home worth $1 million, but that home does not send you a check every month to help you live. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It demands a check from you every single month just to keep the lights on and the roof over your head. You cannot eat the drywall of your kitchen, and you cannot pay a medical bill with your backyard. This is why we need to have a serious conversation about what real wealth looks like in today's economy. Real wealth is not a number on a real estate estimate. Real wealth is liquidity. It is the ability to convert your assets into cash quickly without losing value and without losing your place to live. Consider a couple in their late 60s who owns a beautiful home in a suburban neighborhood that is now worth $800,000. They have $200,000 in their 401k plan. Technically, they have a net worth of $1 million. They are part of that elite 9% of the population. But their lifestyle is entirely dependent on their Social Security checks and a very small monthly withdrawal from their retirement account. They are constantly worried about the price of gas and the rising cost of food because their wealth is stuck in their walls. Now, compare them to someone who rents a modest apartment but has $1 million invested in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds. That person is also a millionaire, but their reality is completely different. They have the freedom to move, the freedom to spend, and the freedom to weather any financial storm because their money is working for them. The first person owns a house that owns them, while the second person owns a portfolio that serves them. This is the fundamental shift in thinking that you must embrace if you want to be truly secure in 2026. We often hear that the first million is the hardest to earn, and that remains true. But for many, that first million was earned almost by accident through the appreciation of their home. It did not require the discipline of saving or the knowledge of investing. It just required being in the right place at the right time. While that is a fortunate position to be in, it can create a false sense of security. It makes you feel like you have arrived at the finish line when you are actually still in the middle of the race. The danger of paper wealth is that it is highly sensitive to the market. If the housing market takes a dip, that $1 million net worth can evaporate in a matter of months. And because it is not liquid, You cannot move it out of harm's way easily. This is why the most successful people in 2026 are focusing on their investable net worth. They are looking at their 401k, their IRA, and their brokerage accounts as the true measure of their freedom. They understand that a paid-off home is a wonderful thing because it lowers your monthly expenses. But it is not a substitute for a portfolio that generates passive income. If you find yourself in the category of being house rich but cash poor, you are facing a strategic crossroad. You can continue to live in a high-value asset that drains your monthly cash flow, or you can take action to unlock that wealth. For some, that means downsizing to a smaller, more manageable home and investing the difference. For others, it might mean looking into options like a reverse mortgage, although that comes with its own set of complexities and risks. The point is that you must recognize the difference between the wealth you see and the wealth you can use. We live in a world that loves to celebrate big numbers, but those numbers are often a distraction. A net worth of $2 million sounds incredible until you realize that $1.5 million of it is in a house that the owners refuse to sell. That leaves them with $500,000 to cover 20 or 30 years of retirement. In 2026, with the current cost of living, that $500,000 might not last nearly as long as they think. Inflation has a way of quietly eroding your purchasing power while you are distracted by your home's appreciation. This is the reality check that many are avoiding because it requires making difficult choices. It requires admitting that your dream home might actually be a financial anchor that is holding you back. If you want to be part of the 1.8% who are truly financially free, you have to prioritize income over equity. You have to focus on building assets that pay you to own them, rather than assets that you have to pay to keep. Dividend-paying stocks, high-yield savings accounts, and index funds are the tools of the modern millionaire. These are the assets that provide the oxygen for your retirement. They give you the ability to say yes to experiences and no to stress. As we look at the economic landscape of 2026, the gap between the two types of millionaires is only going to grow. The people who are relying on their home values to carry them through retirement are going to find themselves increasingly squeezed by rising costs. Meanwhile, the people who have prioritized liquidity will have the flexibility to adapt and thrive. Success in this era is not about how much you own. It is about how much of what you own is available to you. Take a moment to look at your own balance sheet today. If you took your home out of the equation, what would be left? Would you still feel confident in your ability to live the life you want? If the answer is no, then it is time to stop celebrating your net worth and start focusing on your cash flow. The goal is not to die with the most expensive house on the block. The goal is to live a life of freedom, security, and peace of mind. Do not let the illusion of paper wealth keep you from achieving real financial independence. The market may fluctuate and housing trends may change, but the value of having cash in the bank never goes out of style. It is time to look past the Zillow estimates and the neighborhood gossip about house prices. It is time to get honest about your numbers and take control of your financial future. You have worked too hard for too many years to be trapped by the very asset that was supposed to set you free. The era of the paper millionaire is reaching its limit, and the era of the liquid millionaire has begun. Make sure you are on the right side of that divide. Your future self will thank you for the courage to look at the truth today. Focus on the assets that can actually sustain you and provide the life you have always dreamed of. Because in the end, it is not about the value of the walls around you. It is about the quality of the life you live within them and the freedom you have outside of them. Stay disciplined, stay focused on what is real, and keep building the wealth that truly matters. The path to real security is clear for those who are willing to see it. The choice is yours to make right now. Do not wait until it is too late to unlock the freedom you have already earned. Make 2026 the year you finally break free from the paper wealth trap. Build a life that is rich in possibilities, not just rich on a spreadsheet. The world is changing, and your strategy must change with it. Invest in your future, invest in your freedom, and invest in yourself.